It's beer 30 again. I haven't had one in a long time. This is our next build. This rim didn't work out on the bike, and what the video is about is building a bike, because this is a used heavy aluminum frame. I gotta wait till the motorcycles go by, and this is what it is. It's a heavy aluminum frame. So as much as I bitch about not using aluminum frame bikes, the heavier ones, which this was built about 1993, I don't know where it's been. I came across it the other day at a flea market, and it had been kept outside at one time. It needs shifters. These brake handles have to go. They got that plastic, that nylon plastic, and I can't really see my screen, so hopefully the stuff is in. I got a heavy sun glare here. So we need to get shifters, and then we need to get these, and then I need to get a front rim. And this may be one of our raffle bikes, and I'm determining whether I'm going to use this one or another one. It does need some cleaning up and going over, and I did get a new back wheel for it. I carry wheels and stuff, and we're probably going to transplant this stuff from Dr. Evil's crash, from the Fucktardistan that ran me off the road. And then we're going down to the car show. I have 2 show bikes I'm going to take down there. And I tell everybody, there's my phone number. They ask me, where's my website? I don't really use a website. I build custom bikes. Every one of them's different. I don't have a production Chinese. I'm not Chinese. I don't have slant eyes, and I don't have a Chinese factory. What I get my fingers on, that's what I build. And if you want it, you want it. If not, this needs a seat. I have new tires and new tubes. And this is just temporarily so I can roll it around and work on it. And it's depending whether I'm going to keep these handlebars. Depends on what other ideas pop in my head. I'm a freelance artist with this stuff, is what I call myself, especially with my trucks. When I paint them and do different things to these trucks and stuff, it's kind of the truck itself, the project, the job itself. It just kind of guides you what you want to do. And then here's my kits, if you want to call and get a kit. My kits come with a jetted carburetor, the intake, and all the good stuff. And this, because I charge $350 plus the tax and the shipping for one of my kits, because these are a 5-strand magneto. Those aren't those fucktard magnetos that the Chinese give you in those Chinese motors. That's one of my motors. It's polished, it's ported, and it's very powerful. Because I have guys say, well, for $3.99 and free shipping, I can get, a black. I had one here. It was a black and red. Alleged it was a racing motor, and it did have a little bit of torque, but it puked out after a couple of days. And I don't think the guy had the gas mixed right. But when I took it apart and I analyzed it, there was no polishing, no porting. It was basically a stock motor. The head spacing was off in the motor, for one. That's why it didn't run right, because the head spacing was off. And number 2, it had a very weak, feeble magneto and CDI combination. I change all that out in my boxes. You get a 5-strand magneto. You don't get a piece of junk out of Uncle Dutch. That's why my bikes cost a lot of money. If you get an assembled bike and stuff, I put a lot of time in. I make the right building steps, and I use some different creative steps. Every bike is almost different. I don't really have a basic production model to offer on a website, and I think that's bullshit, because once you start buying something from the Chinese, they start making it cheaper and cheaper and cheaper every time you buy it, until it's total garbage. So that's my reasoning, and that's my latest video at Beer 30. I figured I'd go over that these bikes start out in pieces here, and then I assemble something that really looks like something and really works like something, and I put the money into it to make it right. So you guys that are on Social Security that want those $100 kits or $200 kits, you go buy that stuff, okay? I'm not the guy to call, as I said, for that. I keep insisting to people that they do not call me, and I keep getting them. I put the ad on, and they ask me if I have something cheaper or any used motors. I don't deal in that. I deal in satisfaction that comes in the box, right there. That's satisfaction, okay? It's all brand new, it's polished, it's ported, it's got a jetted carb, it's got a more powerful magneto, it's got all the other pieces you got to buy and put into the motor already there. So why would you do all that and just buy a $100 kit? Because there was a grown man, the guy with the red and black motor that came with the bike, and I told him, I said, let's go for a run. And I was so far out ahead of him, and my bike was still cold. It takes a while for these bikes, the motor to warm up. But I still blew him. I just blew him right off the road. I was all the way down the other end of town, and I turned around and I was coming back, and he was only halfway through. And I says, hell, so much for your racing motor. And then he asked for, how much for one of your bikes? And that's what I'm depending on, whether he's going to want this bike or the other one. Oh, and I wanted to mention my air hose. Some kind of animal attacked my air hose. It's all full of little pinholes. And I don't think it was one of my cats. It had to have been something else. And then we had a calamity up in the office. I fell on my ass. My Chinese-made office chair, it snapped in half. I'll never buy another one from China. I bought a Serta, and allegedly it's made in the USA. And kind of like this wheel, I don't know if it's a con job. At least this one's a little bit semi-honest. It says assembled in the USA. Assemble my you-know-what. Okay, there's the prices on my bikes. We have Fred's heads. I have some bikes in stock. I do have 2 or 3 built. I don't plan on selling them. I plan on selling them down the car show. And that's about how I deal. And I deal mostly, you can send me a check. Credit cards, I'm going to have a credit card reader very shortly. My phone also broke. I've had a month of, the other day I sat on my sunglasses. My office chair broke. The week before that, it all started with when Dr. Evil got wrecked every Saturday after that, something has happened or broke. And now my air hose on Sunday. I don't know what else can happen. And we're burning the remnants of the... I was very disappointed, Serta. I bought one of your very expensive chairs at Walmart, and there wasn't even a little sheep in the box. It had the picture of the sheep on the box, but I didn't even get a little stuffed sheep. I'm very disappointed, Serta. So there you go. There's my build, and there's what you get in the box. You get satisfaction out of me. Okay, I don't care what the Chinese want to send you. Okay, ours are orange. They're taped up. They're a Harley B box and everything. They have a label on it. That one doesn't. That's just one of mine. It's been hanging around here for the last 6 months. Everything with loud mufflers passes by my house, just so you know that. I don't think there's a car in the world without loud mufflers that hasn't passed by this house, especially today. So, I'm off to the car show tonight, and I'm going to see what's on tap for next weekend at the other one. Thanks, guys.